Welcome everybody, this is the one time only show. A great show lined up for you tonight. I will be interviewing a populist who is changing America. But for now, we'll go to the best dang news crew who is interviewing one Chief Joseph to show the plight of the Indians.
I have here with me Chief Joseph.
How?
You attempted to escape Canada. Tell me, Chief Joseph, why would you try to leave this great country?
I heard Canadians. Nice.
And how did that work out for you?
Badly.
Yeah, I heard that you had to move to Kansas. There's no place like home, right?
I come from Idaho.
But you couldn't stay there. No. What's the reason?
White men, greedy.
Well, I don't know about that, but... Anyway, moving on. So, what happened when you moved to Kansas?
Tribe, dead. All dead.
Really? How many?
40%.
How do you know percentages?
I Indian, not idiot.
Well, that's horrible. Let's have peace pipe to lighten the mood.
When we came over from Europe, the Indians showed us immense kindness. They gave us an excuse to gorge ourselves in the form of Thanksgiving. We repaid them by giving them cholera, typhoid, and smallpox. Young men of the West satisfied their lust for excitement or violence by leaning out of moving train cars and maniacally shooting buffalo. So basically the first drive-by. Humanitarians were dedicated to improving the lives of humans everywhere, so of course they wanted to help the Indians by killing their language, culture, religion, and having them walk the white man's road. So, Indians, you hate our country and never want to see a white person again? Well, if you're good for 25 years and don't die of disease during that time, then you get a free pass to citizenship. If you're bad, well... At the Battle of Little Bighorn, Indians viciously defended themselves, annihilating Custer and his troops. I just want to say, how dare you defend yourselves? You have wounded America's pride. Do you know what happens when America's pride is wounded? You cry about it. Or we have a government shutdown.
Hello there. Are you Native American? Are you tired of white people telling you where to live? Then come on down to the Pine Ridge Indian Reservation. We have 10% less cholera and 40% more booze than the average reservation. Here your people will be free to live out their lives as they wanted them, and as we wanted them. Make sure you call 1-800-TRAIL-OF-TEARS. That's right, 1-800-TRAIL-OF-TEARS. Sign up today.
So farmers in the 1890s were dealing with the crisis of the industrial age. There were mile-wide clouds of grasshoppers eating the plants, so people said it left nothing but the mortgage behind. There were cotton weevils and droughts in the south, and floods and bad soil in the north. This was such a bad time that whole towns could be found deserted. Surely the government would do something to help these poor farmers, the food source of our nation.
Today, the government has imposed new local, state, and national taxes on farmers in addition to their already high local taxes.
Okay, let's see how social media covered this injustice.
That's terrible. To make their own party response is ridiculous.
I know, right? Let's face it, we're all struggling here.
Right. You're struggling in a market of news programs who are mainly controlled by one or two main companies who respectably pay their employees and only have to compete with U.S. news programs. Whereas these farmers had to compete with, I don't know, the whole world. It's ridiculous the amount of blame that has been put upon these farmers who are really only trying to stand up for themselves. I will admit that they are a little obsessed with silver coinage, but maybe they're onto something. or not, industry was finally positively affecting agriculture.
Oh, thanks to advancements in farming equipment, farms have been producing more grain than ever. However, do they need to with the already existing surplus? Will they lower their prices? How much farther can farmers fall?
Do humans need to eat? Does Fox News need a new anchor? And how much farther can Fox News fall? And they can't fall anymore because they've already hit crop bottom.
So today I have with me Farmer John.
Hi, how you doing?
Good. Good. So I take it you're a farmer.
Yeah, I am a farmer. in the USA.
Lately farmers, they seem to be on edge. What's that about?
Well, lately we've been it's been unfair for us. We work really hard and we provide for a lot of this country, and it seems that we're not really getting much back. There are big corporations and railroads that are making us pay unfair rates just to ship our projects out, and we're paying more to get our products out there than we're receiving for them, and it's kind of a huge vicious cycle.
So guys like Vanderbilt aren't exactly giving you a fair share.
Yeah, I mean, that guy, he's one of the richest guys in the USA right now, and he's not even doing all this hard work. We're providing for him to eat, and we're not getting anything back, so it's incredibly unfair.
So out of this anger, you formed some sort of party or something?
Yeah, so there's this party, the Farmers Alliance, and who basically came together to fight against these big corporations and railroads that are kind of cheating us out of stuff. And we're a pretty good group, pretty strong. We're fighting for farmers to have a little more rights. And yeah, it's a good group.
Well, it sounds great, but what are some of the weaknesses of this group?
Well, there's not too many weaknesses unless you count excluding blacks, farm hands, anyone else who's not really classified as, a farmer, people who don't actually own land. They're just, they hold land. We don't really give rights to them too much, but we don't really consider them real farmers. That's all right.
Well, now there's a group called the Populists, right?
Yeah, so out of the Farmers Alliance, we kind of formed a political group, actually, and we're fighting for a lot of the same ideals that the Farmers Alliance fought for. It's just we have a lot more following.
Those are the main ideas of them, right?
Yeah, some of the main ideas are the free coinage of silver. We're fighting for different tax laws on farmers so that we can get so it's easier to ship out our products, and for better communication.
So you mentioned the free coinage of silver. Do you agree with that?
I totally agree with it. I think that the free coinage of silver will help bring the farmers of the United States out of this huge debt hole that we're in because of these huge monster railroads and companies. We've gone so far into debt that the free coinage of silver will allow us to rise out of this debt and get back on an even keel in the business world.
Well, won't that be bad for upperclassmen?
Well, the upperclassmen aren't the ones who are in debt. So, I mean, from our point of view, it doesn't really matter whether it's going to affect them. All we know is that it'll help bring us out of poverty.
Well, can you talk about some of the division that is caused in our country?
Well, yeah, so we have this, our presidential running guy, McKinley, he kind of fights for some of our ideals, such as the free coinage of silver, and McKinley's never won. This is his third time running. He hasn't won yet, so things aren't looking too hot for him. But yeah, a lot of the country really doesn't like him because if you're not a farmer, the free coinage of silver thing doesn't look so hot. So a lot of these other guys are going for Bryant, and it's causing a lot of heated discussion and debate, and obviously upperclassmen versus us like poor farmers are having a little bit of clash.
It sounds like you have a rough time out there.
Yeah.
Good luck.
All right, thank you.
Thank you for your time.
Hey, thanks for having me.
Watch out for those cannons, Brian and McKinley, and we'll see you after the break.
In a world where silver coinage is law and is equal with gold, farmers will suffer less and banks will suffer more. This summer, stand with future President William Jennings Bryan as he takes on McKinley and changes the world. Coming soon, fall 1908.
Welcome back. This is the one time only show, and for my guest tonight, I have the populist party leader, Mary E. Lease. Welcome to the show. Thank you for having me. So you've been called many names over the past 200 years. Mary Yellen, the Kansas Pythoness, the Queen of the Populist Party.
Oh, yes, and many more. But those are more profane. They come from my enemies.
So you are famous for saying that Kansians, Kanzinians, I don't know, should raise less corn and more hell. What exactly do you mean by that?
Well, the general people need to start caring more about politics. The populists are trying to help them, but they just keep farming and don't rise to the occasion.
I see. So in the South, you have been losing many votes because so many of the workers are black. Do you think that your party needs those black votes?
We could always use more votes, but if blacks were to vote, the populist party would become divided, and that would not help the cause. So I can say...
Okay. What do you think about the implementation of silver coinage?
We need silver coinage. I mean, farmers are in debt every day of their lives, and they could pay off this debt if we had silver coinage. Inflation would help this country.
I see.
Yeah.
So what do you think about Coxey's army and the Pullman strike?
That was ridiculous. They had traveled so far to get to the White House, and then they're arrested for walking on grass. That is just arrogant and pettiness.
Okay, so why do you think that your party's presidential candidate, James B. Weaver, lost the election to William McKinley? What made them favor William McKinley over James B. Weaver?
Rich people favored McKinley, and rich people don't care about the working people, the farmers.
Okay, well, thank you for being my guest tonight on the one time only show. Ladies and gentlemen, that is all for tonight. Thank you.